Hello, my name is Jennifer Witt, Director of ProjectManager.com. One of the best calls I can get is when someone calls me to ask, how do I get certified as a project manager? I love that question because now I'm talking with the person who's committed to project management. So there's a little bit of confusion out in the market though, however, because some people can get confused on universities or colleges offering a project management certificate. So therefore people think maybe they're certified, but that's not actually being certified. You can get a project management certificate from a university or college or other entity, but what we're talking about is a professional certification. There are two certifying bodies. One is by the Prince 2 organization, which we'll talk about in another session, but this one I want to focus on the project management certification by the entity, the Project Management Institute. So again, people ask, how do I get certified as a project manager? They ask who? Who is the certifying body? So the certifying entity is the Project Management Institute, or better known as PMI for short. Their website is pmi.org. So they have a certification. The certification is called the Project Management Professional. Sometimes you'll see PMP as the credential. You may see a project manager using their name with the PMP at the end. That means they're certified. So there are eligibility requirements. Sometimes I get calls from people saying they want to change fields. Maybe they're in some other field and they call and say they want a job as a project manager, so they want a project management certification. Well, it actually works in reverse. So you may think intuitively that you need a certification in order to go into that field. But for the eligibility requirements, PMI, the Project Management Institute, as part of their requirements, requires that you have project management experience before you can earn your certification. So there are some eligibility requirements that I want to talk about because that's where some of the confusion really begins. So I brought this. If you go to pmi.org, you can go to the certification area. And what you want to reference is the Project Management Professional Handbook. It looks like this. This one was current. I just downloaded it. But always for the most current version, go to pmi.org and always reference this. So the eligibility requirements in the handbook, there's a section. This handbook tells all about the certification, how you get it, how you qualify, and once you do become PNP certified, how to maintain your credentials. So if you look here, there's a page identified here, and here are some of the elements they talk about. So there are three areas that you need to have eligibility requirements in. One is education. What is your education background, your project management experience, and your formal project management education. So they have it in two categories because from different people coming, remember, Project Management Institute is a global international organization. There are chapters all over the world. So they recognize that some people may have gone to college, maybe they haven't. So they found a way to have credentials for people in both categories. So when you're looking at the handbook, you look for which category do I fall in. So start with the education background. So for those people who have a secondary degree, meaning a high school diploma or an associate's degree, and there are global or international requirements that are similar to that. Or if you may have a four-year degree, meaning you may have a bachelor's degree. Again, there's a global equivalent to that. So that's how you start. And if you have the secondary degree, the project management experience required is 75 hours. So it's a minimum of 5 years over 60 months, which comes out to be 7,500 hours. And the education you need is 35 contact hours of formal project management training. So that means that it needs to be based on the PMI, the Project Management Institute standards, which are outlined in the PMBOK guide. So the acronym is PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. So the training needs to be based on those credentials because that's what the test is going to be testing you on. So the formal training has to be, the contact hours means contact with instructors. So many of the online programs do not qualify for that because it must be a contact hour. So if you are in the 4-year degree in this category, they requires you see less hours because some of the training that you receive earning your degree counts towards the credential, the requirement. So it's a minimum of 3 years or 36 months or a total of 4,500 hours. And then again, the 35 contact hours of formal education. Again, contact hour meaning with a contact with an instructor, formal being based on the Project Management Institute standards outlined in the PMBOK guide, the Project Management Body of Knowledge. So some people may look at this and say, wow, well, I don't quite yet qualify for that. And even with these 3 categories, there's another requirement that PMI says you need to have managed projects from beginning to end of a project. So there are some other items that need to be looked at, but some people say, well, I don't qualify for either the education experience or the education here. So there is an alternative. There's another certification that you can reference in the handbook or on the PMI.org site, and it's the CAPM, and it's the certification you earn prior to or as you're preparing for the PMP certification. So that's a little bit about how to become certified as a project manager. Those are some of the common questions we have. Again, always reference the PMI website at pmi.org, and also knowing that there is an alternative. And again, there is another certifying body by Prince 2. So you can Google more information about Prince 2, and we'll be addressing that certification in a different whiteboard session. But I'm excited for those of you who are seeking this. If you've watched this video, you're obviously interested in becoming certified. We found that employers and job opportunities, that's one qualifying piece of information or credential you can have that you can stand out and help manage your projects better. So if you are seeking to become certified as a project manager and you need tips, tools, techniques, or training, or maybe some experience online with software, we hope that you'll visit us at projectmanager.com.